Hello, this is Mrs. Moslick, and this is the second part of the Qtr2 Euler Line Project, and this is finding the Euler Line equation by using GeoGebra, the graphing method. This is the real fun part. So here are your vertices, but what I'm going to do in this video is work with the vertices that are on the Euler line example. So we're going to use P, Q, and R. And so just let you know, I want you to work with me on this and just use the P, Q, and R, and then I will show you how you can convert that to your project. So you are going to be creating something like this and coming up with this Euler line. And so at first we're going to create the perpendicular bisectors, and where they meet is the circumcenter. Then we're going to construct the medians, and where they intersect is the centroid. And then we'll construct the orthocenter, and where they meet is called the we're going to construct the altitudes, and where they meet is called the orthocenter, creating the entire Euler line. So let's start with opening up GeoGebra. So get into GeoGebra. Once you get into GeoGebra, go to the 3x3 square and click on geometry. And what we want to do here is just like in your first quarter project, in the upper right hand, the settings, we want to show a grid and the major grid lines. We also want to show the axes, and we are going to create some points. So let's go ahead and we're going to create point P, Q, and R. So P is -5, 4. And I'll just keep that as A, but that's really our P on the example. Q is 3, 6. So if I need to get up there, I'm going to go back to the move and just now I'll go to point. So 3, 6. And the last one is 7, -2. So go ahead and plot these 3 points with me and then go back to the move. Once you plot those points, A, B, and C, we're going to connect them with segments. So from A to B, from B to C, and from C to A. And let's make that triangle real dark. So let's go ahead and right click, go to settings, and I'm going to make the color just a dark black, and I'll do that on all of those. So right click and settings would be, oopsies, black. All right, so we have our 3 line segments. That's our triangle. Let's first construct the perpendicular bisectors. We'll do this all in red eventually. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go to more, and we want a perpendicular bisector. So we'll go to the construct tool, click perpendicular bisector. So we're going to go from A to B, from B to C, and from C to A. And I am going to go back to the move key. And I'm going to right click on each of those lines and make sure that they are red, because it'll be a lot easier to navigate this project. When we have red for the first part, let's do blue for the second part and green for the third part. I'm also noticing that my triangle doesn't look vivid enough, so I'm going to go back to the settings. And my color is fine, it's black, but the style, I want the line opacity to be a very deep black, and the line thickness to be, how about like at 10? So it's just like a real bold, so I'll do that with all of these. I want line thickness to be 10. Again, you can do what you want, but I just want to make sure that I don't get lost with the lines that I am constructing. So again, I'm clicking and go to settings, go to color is still black, but the style, the opacity is 100, and the line thickness I'm doing 10. So now it's real clear what the triangle is. You can make it even cooler by getting rid of the A, B, and C, but I want to keep those, but let's make those black as well. So just black. And I'm going to just right click on each one of those And you can play around with more, but I think this is going to do us really well by having the triangle real deep dark and the points labeled as black as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back to move. So we have just constructed the perpendicular bisectors. And one thing I want to do now is find where they all meet. So I'm going to go to intersect. To get to the intersect, I want to find the point. So I am going to go to more, and I want the point of intersection. So go to under points, intersect, and I'm going to hit a red line and another red line. So it's just two. And that is going to be the circumcenter. So I'm going to, again, make sure you're on the pointer, then click on that circumcenter. Let's make that a really big point. So I'm going to go to settings, and let's hide the D. So we don't want to show the label. That is the circumcenter. But let's make sure that the color is red. And let's make sure that the style, the point size is real big. So I would just go all the way up to the 9. Okay, so that's part 1. Isn't that amazing how fast that was? Also, I want to show you something really cool. We've been in the geometry part of GeoGebra, the geometry app. In the geometry app, there's also a calculator. I want you to click on the algebra. And do you know that this is showing what we've just found? Which is real kind of cool, just in terms of a general sense. If I click over here to the settings, I can then also find over here these points, and I have yeah, this is where you can like change decimals and stuff like that. We'll get into that just a little later. So let's go back to our geometry tools. Okay, let's do our next part. Our next part is the median. So I'm going to do this all in blue, but to start off, we're going to construct. So blue, we want a median. So we need the intersection. We need these midpoints. So we need the intersection of the red and the black line segment. So I'm going to go to point, intersect. So point, intersect. And I'm going to hit on a red line and where it hits a side of the triangle. Red line and where it hits the midpoint, and a red line and where it hits the triangle. So we should have now constructed the 3 midpoints. I'm going to go to pointer, and I'm going to just hide those letters. So settings, I'm just going to hide the name, and here I'll hide the name, and the last one also. I will right click and hide the name. Okay, last thing we're going to do now is, again, we're in the median, so we are going to draw a line. So go to lines, and let's draw in the median from A to its opposite midpoint. So A to its opposite midpoint, B to its opposite midpoint, and C to its opposite midpoint. All of those lines, let's change to blue, but you have to make sure you're on pointer first. Now, right click on those gray lines and make them blue. So right click, we're going to do color is blue. I'll do like a vivid blue. Oh, that looks almost purple, but it's blue. Right click and blue. And last one, I'm going to click and blue. Where they all meet is a point. So we have to figure out what that point is. So we're going to go to intersect. So I'm going to click on 2 blue lines, and we have created this point H. So point H, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hide that label, the name, because I don't need that letter there. But I'm going to make that color blue and the style just like the circumcenter, our median, where all of our medians meet, is called a centroid. So that centroid is real big and bold. Okay, next we're going to, our last part is green. So we're going to find all the altitudes. So we're going to go up to or down to construct. Where is that? So I'm going here, construct. we want a perpendicular line. So we're going to click on perpendicular line. I'm going to go from A to its opposite side, B to its opposite side, and C to its opposite side. Those are all going to be our green line, so pointer. So I'm going to right click green. So color, let's make it green. And oh, I don't know if I like that green. That's a better green for me. And then I'll click on all of these and we'll have green. And the last one, I can't see it over here. It's over here. So again, I'm going to right click on that, settings, and green. And where they all meet is intersection point. So let's go ahead and construct a point of intersection. Just go to point intersect. So intersect point, and we're going to click on green and green. And then I'll go to the pointer. I'm going to move down my screen. And now, since I'm on pointer, I'm going to, on that point of intersection of all the altitudes called the orthocenter, I'm going to right click settings, and that is going to be a color green. And the style, I want the point size as big as it can be. We have now found the 3 points, and we'll connect them with a line. So I will just, I'll just go down to line. So line, I just need to click on 2 of those points. How about the red and the blue? So red and blue, that's my Euler line. So now I'm going to go to pointer, and on that Euler line, it's kind of hard to see. It's gray. I'm going to right click, and let's make that really thick yellow. So color will be yellow, and I'm going to make that line thickness as big as it can be and the line opacity as big as it can be. We have now constructed our Euler line. So if you go into your algebra, you can see all of these, like everything we have constructed. And I can then go to the settings, and again, it'll show us everything. And the cool thing here is that it'll give us like the algebraic equation. So here's my equation, and so I can see all of the information, what we've done, but I want to wow you right now. And so what I want to show you is if you go to the settings, I go to settings, so upper right over here, go to settings, and go to the algebra key right here, so algebra. If you change the algebra description to the value, do you see what happens to the left? Over to the left no longer is a description. So again, algebra description, I can go from description to definition to value, and I can also do definition and value, and that's my favorite setting. So yours might already have had that, but if yours is not, like if it just was originally on your description, go back to definition and value. So again, that's under settings, and that will give you the answers to all of your first part of the project. So here's my reveal. I am not going to actually grade your project until you check it yourself. So you have now your 3 perpendicular bisector equations. You have your 3 median line equations, and you have your 3 altitude equations. And then you have your intersection points, and then for the circumcenter, the orthocenter, and your centroid, and then you also have the Euler line. So do not have me grade it until you have done your check. Now you might say, but Mrs. Moslick, you have just shown me your triangle P, Q, and R. Remember I changed it to A, B, and C? And then I'll say, well, hold on. Remember I told you to do this with me. So what is your A? Your A is -2, -1, right? Let's move it. Let's change the B to 1,5. And let's change the C to 4, 1. And now you have done your Euler line project with all of your answers. I hope I've wowed you. I hope you enjoyed this. Please go back to your packet and check your work and make any corrections you need algebraically so you can get full credit. And when you turn this in to me and your parents sending us an email, please let them know in an email, please, mom and dad, or whoever is looking at it, please move A, B, and C, and you'll see that whatever kind of a triangle you have, the intersections of the perpendicular bisectors, the medians, and the altitudes will always meet at 3 points, and those 3 points will always be collinear, forming the Euler line. So it does not matter what kind of a triangle you have, you will always have an Euler line. Hope you guys have enjoyed it and have a wonderful day. I'm looking forward to seeing your projects. Toodle-doo.